Hey there, folks. I'm Serious JG. We have just fast traveled to some place where there's a support captain.
I would like to discuss something with you. Do you have a moment to speak with me?
He wants to discuss something with us. He wants us to defeat a scout unit. We'll get quality wolf fangs. I can't really be bothered with this.
Very well. There is no need to worry about it.
Yeah, you guys deal with that. I'm gonna go deal with Liu Shao. I mean, it seems like it's a little more important. Just saying. So apparently we teleported into the middle of an enemy base with enemy bow captains. And got a mission from an ally while we were there. So that was interesting. But, you know. See how threatening that enemy bow captain was. So maybe that's the reason all my allies are just willing to stand around right there while he shoots flaming arrows at them. They're not that bothered about this guy. Oh, wait. Loots. We got pearl clasps and a quality tiger pelt. We got more rewards for that than we would have for doing that mission. Alright, Jun Yu / Jun Yo / however your name is said.
Yes.
Oh man, all the different Jun Yu characters who have unique models. We've got another one floating around who's just a generic.
Oh, you have trusted my words and come to see me. The advantage lies with Master Cao Cao. I will surrender.
Okay, he's actually a Yuan Shao guy coming to our side.
I will tell you the weakness in Yuan Shao's army. Here in Wu Chao is a large-scale storehouse. As you know, provisions are vital for any army. Were the storehouse to burn, for example, that would be a major blow.
So would me just climbing the wall and defeating Yuan Shao, but I take your point. Somewhere in this. Well, see, there's the Jun Yu, Jun Yo, Jun Liu. There's Guandu. There's a whole bunch of important officers involved in this. So yeah, that does happen in the novel. Zhang He and some other guy, I guess the guy we just talked to, defect and revealed it's out because Yuan Shao treated his officers like shit. Pardon my language. Again, there's no reason this couldn't be a PG Let's Play, JG.
The enemy is going to attack us here. Everyone prepare to defend this spot. What? Cao Cao's forces are attacking? How do they know about this place?
You just said that we were about to attack there. What's wrong with you? So anyway, this guy was like drunk and didn't defend properly, and that's why Wu Chao was able to fall. But Zhang He and some other guy, you know, they were sick of being treated like garbage by Yuan Shao, so they defected. And basically, what the novel is trying to tell young, impressionable Chinese viewers of the day when the novel was written was, don't treat people around you like crap, because Yuan Shao had the advantage in troops and squandered it by just being arrogant and a jerk and pissing everybody off. So that, you know, Cao Cao was given this important secret, because basically the burning of Wu Chao is the huge turning point for the Battle of Guandu. The incompetence of one of the defenders and the fact that the weakness was even revealed to Cao Cao by disgruntled officers of Yuan Shao are basically the two big issues that lead to Yuan Shao's defeat.
Without Wu Chao, it will be difficult for them to maintain such a large army. We must quickly defeat the enemy officer and start the fire.
We didn't start the fire. Well, we didn't light it, but we tried to fight it. There he is. He no longer has his unique claw weapon. They're trying to make some money off some DLC.
That was awesome. I get worked up just watching you.
I was beating myself up there. Oh, wow, a whole bunch of arrows dropped.
Supplies will soon
Why is it burned up? What now? We can't fight without food.
And we can't food without fight.
What a resplendent battle the enemy has fought. I have no choice but to surrender.
The Zhang He defects after you defeat him. That's a common theme in the, in the Dynasty Warrior version of these battles.
I must do what I can to blossom as a beautiful officer of Cao Cao's army.
So he defects from Yuan Shao to Cao Cao, but he does it because of, I don't remember exactly. Maybe they get cornered.
Impressed by your skill.
Maybe this is one of the guys who gets like kind of cornered and there's no way for him to win, so he defects. But I kind of feel like Zhang He actually does defect because he and a strategist they're put in a position where I think Yuan Shao will believe they have failed and will execute them. So instead of going back to face execution, they defect. But I might be just completely mixing up a bunch of different things. Zhang He was a pretty major officer for Cao Cao. He was one of the few Wei officers that Zhuge Liang feared as a competent field commander who would undermine Zhuge Liang's plans if he was able to detect the troop movements and figure them out. But I'm now blanking on the details of how he ends up joining Cao Cao, other than that it's part of the fight at Guandu, or the general campaign between the two forces. Because I wanted to say that, oh yeah, he just he got kind of cornered, so he surrendered. But I'm like, no, I think he actually comes out looking a little bit better than that. So all we've got left now is actually defeating Yuan Shao himself. So probably the easiest place to fast travel to is just Yanjin here. Am I already kind of close to... No, Yanjin would be the closest. I kind of wanted to ride in the same path that all of my troops are using, because they're all fighting from down here. I'm actually already fairly close.
Yeah.
Almost pulled off landing on my horse, which would have been kind of neat. So rather than coming up in the completely wrong direction that no one else is attacking from and climbing over the wall, let's try to follow the path of the actual battle as we finish off Yuan Shao. We got another waymark. This would be handy for later fast travel purposes. We get a tiny little experience boost, which reminds me I probably have a bunch of unspent upgrade points. Actually, I kind of don't. Got a tiny little quantity of unspent upgrade points, but it's okay.
Capturing that base will weaken the enemy greatly.
Assault Captain, it's pretty much time to give up now. This fight's over and it's not going your way. On the other side of that wall with boots.
All right. I need everyone to defend this area.
Somewhere here there's a treasure chest, if I'm understanding the map correctly. Yeah.
Now is the hour when we must settle this feud with Cao Cao.
Panacea, box trap, and other crap that doesn't matter. Wait, Guandu is our main camp? I guess it's our main camp. I got confused.
It is time to begin the siege of Guandu Castle.
Yeah, that's right. It's our castle's Guandu, so.
Just how mighty we are.
Mighty we are. I kind of like Yuan Shao's voice in this game isn't bad.
Be a major thorn in our side. We must destroy them before they can reach the castle walls.
I thought I'd done this already.
Report. Some of our siege weapons are not working.
Yeah, because of that like lady whose cat I rescued.
What? Our siege weapons have sustained damage? I should have known Cao Cao would resort to such underhanded tactics.
As rescuing cats. Now all our base all belong to him because he rescued cats.
Logistics are key, especially when fighting a large force. Distribute those supplies.
What? They're distributing supplies? I never knew that they would use such underhanded tactics.
Report. The supply
supply unit has arrived. They are heading to Guandu Castle.
Cao Cao plans to reinforce his supply lines in preparation for a long battle. We cannot allow him to do that. Attack the enemy supply troops!
Oh, there's a new mission just open up where I can defend the supply troops. Like seriously, what is this with the supply troops? Is this a thing I can do?
Right. I guess aim for Yuan Shao from here. Stick with me, you bandits.
Yeah, they're trying to break into my base, so I should be destroying these siege weapons to avoid having arm morale go down.
Shan have sided with Cao Cao? What do they think they're doing?
You do what think they're doing?
Watch out for attacks on the road to Guandu. Men, keep your guard up.
You're not allowed the supply troop to be defeated. Well, where is it? Where is the supply troop? I have yet to actually figure out how you can get a listing of all the units that are currently moving around on the battlefield. I don't know of a way to do that at all. The man who ruled the plan. So how can I actually... Options, tutorial tips... I don't know how you go back and toggle the little information notices that they give you. Is Yuan... Yeah, because this target reticule is Yuan Shao himself. So if I was really, really worried about defending a supply unit, I don't know how I would do it. Because I don't know how to actually figure out where they're at. And I kind of like to do that just as part of like showcasing all the stuff that happens in this mission. Gallery events. No. Oh, Genji's like right here.
Report. The supply depot at Yuan Shao is on fire. We need those supplies.
It's knock her over and move on. She didn't even get a speech.
Why would Cao Cao do such a thing to Wu Chao? Someone must have told him about the storehouses there.
Woohoo!
Such a large force needs supplies. Don't you think we might be in trouble?
Wait for Genji to make her way back over here.
Cao certainly knows how to struggle feebly on.
Oh, there's a supply captain.
Reinforcements and crush the enemy.
Does that count as defending a supply captain? Oh, he's asking for reinforcements at the connecting base, which I think I did my take out some kind of base.
The fight goes on.
Yuan Tan is over here somewhere.
Our midpoint base has fallen. We can't hope for reinforcements now.
What have we been up to, Cao Cao? Never mind. We will simply have
Oh,
to
there's Genji
destroy the
again.
enemy with the resources we already have. For me, you are powerless.
That takes care of the necessary
So
preparations.
Genji is reduced to being a Jiao Chan clone in this, as far as Meek said, which has happened in other games too. So she doesn't get to fight with the flutes. Genji just defected.
My lord is disturbingly weak and has no future. I have a feeling I would be better off serving Master Cao Cao instead.
Now that I've already had my ass kicked by him, so It's a good thing I didn't defeat him any faster, or her any faster. I thought I was supposed to.
Our target has been determined. Capturing that area will deflate their morale.
Okay, so we're clearly going to... Now we got Genji on our side. It'll be very tempting to switch to Genji in the next chapter, folks.
We're going to join
But,
up with another force. We will join forces to take on the enemy.
She's also super leveled up and also has her ultimate weapon. But, by and large,
Target is that parcel of land. Prepare to move.
mostly that entails her being in the background of dialogue scenes that are considered plot essential, where she doesn't say anything because she's not actually supposed to be there. So, I'll probably stick with that.
So quickly. Give me a chance to have some fun first.
What? Oh. Defeated 3,000 enemies. True warrior, 3 kingdoms. Say it, Genji. You're the closest allied officer.
You are a true warrior.
I guess Jiao is closer, or has a higher priority rate for that quote.
Base will weaken the enemy greatly. All units march.
Yeah, I came through and did this before with, I just jumped over the walls ninja rope styles, and Zhang He and Genji didn't defect. I just killed them on my way to fight. Well, I defeated Genji, I think, on my way to fighting Yuan Shao. So I don't know which set of side quests you do to get those defections to happen, but you don't have to do them. You see them.
Our target has been determined. Capturing that area.
It's a weird thing with
will
these
deflate their
games,
morale.
man. Once they give you all these side quests to make the main quest easier. If you actually do them, the main quest is usually really underwhelming. So how am I going to get over the wall
Our target
here?
has been determined. Capturing that area will deflate their morale.
Gates open? The gates are wide open. What are you doing keeping those gates open, Fang G?
Parcel of land. Prepare to move.
I got to lock on targets. It's not quite as essential as it is in Neo, but it is making it so I'm taking too long to kill some of these officers.
Follow my lead.
I don't know what the most efficient ground-based way to navigate through this base is, but Ninja Rope kind of makes it all
will deflate their
irrelevant.
morale.
Our target is that parcel of land. Prepare to move.
Stop worrying about land parcels, John Wei. I mean, Xiao Jun. Sorry, John Wei's dead. You're not. Okay, so somewhere inside this big main building here.
This area will soon be under our control.
Is it an area or a parcel? Come on, man. I don't know if there's a couple of officers still floating around. One of them might be his main strategist guy, but
Our allies are in need of our assistance. We must make our way to them quickly.
mm-hmm. So now you're poisoned. Freeze you.
Advance! Do not slow down.
Muso you probably.
I tire of you.
Surprised you're still alive, man.
We have a better chance of victory.
Because I have like more than
Join
double
up
his
with
level.
One of our allies.
Was that a friendly officer or an enemy officer who just said they have a great chance?
It's
Oh, hey,
time to
didn't you?
take the attack to the enemy. Forward!
So in case I don't ever end up playing as her, you can see what her character model looks like here. She's going around using a huge over-involved whip because I gave her her ultimate weapon. But yeah, she has a whip rather than a flute.
Capturing that area
It's fine.
will deflate their morale. Our target has been determined. Capturing that area will deflate their morale.
Will it? It will deflate the morale. Is that what's going to happen?
I need everyone to defend this area.
But yeah, Zenji, she's, there were little tiny hints in some of the optional, some of the dialogue. I couldn't figure out how to trigger it in story mode. It might have been in, like, one of their other modes. But there's little hints in Dynasty Warriors 8 of Genji being disgusted by Cao Cao because Cao Cao was into her, and she's his daughter-in-law. There's no hints of that in this game that I've seen, because I played through Genji's entire story and it never came up.
Cao Cao's meager forces overcome our noble army? No, this is impossible! I refuse to believe it!
That's not true. It's impossible.
Master has secured
Search
all of
Felix
Liu Bei.
Watch out, you know it to be
Everyone,
true.
victory cry!
Come on, guys, victory cry, let's do it. You're...
This victory has opened a path forward for our Lord. My only regret is that I will not live to see where it leads.
You mean we can't unlock stars and somehow have you live until the end of time? Oh no, Yuan Shao's Tan's gonna attack. We're in huge trouble now. It's all over for us.
Long live Lord Cao Cao!
Long live synchronized fist pumps. Oh, it's gonna disappear. Oh, he's gonna chew
This
us out.
victory alone is not enough to end the chaos. We must seek out and punish
I don't know
all who
what
oppose
incident
us.
it is in the novel that it's referring to, but his whole character is harsh military justice man.
Easy, Eugene. We have defeated our greatest enemy in Yuan Shao. Allow the men to rest and celebrate for at least a day.
There's no way my hubris will come back to haunt
Yes,
us
my
as a
lord.
massive fleet
As
full
you
of
command.
soldiers burns.
Everybody, listen up.
Mmm,
We have
good.
defeated Yuan Shao to
Everybody,
become the
listen to
single
me.
largest force in the land.
We got the big one.
We are ready to begin our quest to unite the land.
Wait, we haven't been
However,
doing that?
The fight to come will be nothing like we've ever seen before. Hard and fraught with peril.
Fraught with portent.
However,
The hot new tag
that
team.
is of no concern to us now. Tonight,
Come to the ring
we
by
will
portent.
celebrate our
It's
victory
fraught.
in order to refresh both our minds and bodies.
Eugene's like, okay, if I have to, I'll enjoy myself. Goes, yeah, you in particular need to party down. You don't have much time left.
Just you wait, Yuan Shao. The path I have laid.
And the ladies I've
The
laid.
battles yet to come.
The ladies yet to come.
I
Sorry.
will utilize them to bring an end to the chaos with my own hands and
Ooh,
create a new
bring an end to the
world
ladies.
order for all to
Lack of
enjoy.
coming with this song. Sorry, I don't know. I have to knock it off. I don't know what's going on. Take a cold shower or something. I'm just a little too rendered today. So that's got to be it for this chapter, because this is kind of, I mean, considering that that Wei ends up ruling most of the land, this isn't really the high watermark for Cao Cao because he has additional conquests. This is probably the biggest single victory of his military career.
Master Shen Yu, your work at Guandu was spectacular.
Thank you. Now button up your
Your
robe.
exploitation of Yuan Chao's weakness in that battle was exceptional.
No. My humble contribution was nothing compared to your own Master Guojia.
If he's the guy who gets the empty food box and dies, then this is a sad little scene because neither of these guys have much time left.
It just so happened that I was the one the enemy leaked that information to.
Leaked.
After that, I just used the information to give our Lord the very best plan I could think of.
That's kind of your job.
You don't allow yourself enough credit. But I guess I should have expected that of you.
Being a debit balance account.
I,
Counting joke.
standing in front of you and detailing a battle is just not me. I have no problems with just acting, though.
I should be an actor.
I just can't be like you or Master Yu.
Who's Master
Or
Yu?
be like Master Jia Shu.
Who's standing right behind me, isn't he?
Oh, yeah. I hear someone saying my name, and it turns out to be you, Master Shun-U.
Now you must
It looks like you talk a lot when you drink.
Master Jia Shu.
Sorry for butting in. I guess I can go do my thing somewhere else.
A small interruption. A great
I don't
plan.
know what that was meant to
Your
communicate, but
ability to startle people is truly exceptional.
what a jerk.
I can't hold a torch to Master Jia Shu.
That does put me in a difficult position.
Because I picked you as my
I had
successor.
planned to have you take over for me one day.
Master Guojiao.
No, it's nothing.
Forget I mentioned that because
You
you're
have your
not
own
taking over
strengths,
for me.
especially when it comes to. Anyway.
What are they getting at?
I
Even if this was
really
properly
like
voice
that you
acted, the
accompanied me
dialogue
on
wouldn't make a
drinking.
lot of sense to me.
I couldn't ask for a better friend than you.
Yes.
Let's
I
get
will
drunk.
stay with you as long as you need me.
Let's get shit-faced together, Master Guojiao. It's going to be so sad when he gets an empty box for food, assuming that's him, and I'm not thinking of a different character who was also named Shun Yu, because there's like tons of them. It's called Romance of the 800 Jun Yus. That's the true name of this novel. Yes, there's some of them are being pronounced Jun Yuo. I don't know. Oh, so we definitely just finished the chapter. This is good timing, because we're just about at the end of a video. We can watch some real basic introductory stuff for another video, and then we can move on with our lives. Next time we'll have a whole new chapter. If I can bring myself to wait, this would be a very convenient time in the story to switch. Because like I said, it's sort of Cao Cao's crowning achievement. So we could keep playing as Cao Cao himself. We could also switch to Zhen Ji or to Cao Pi, both of whom will basically see the Cao storyline all the way through to conclusion. Or there's other various Wei officers we could play as. But Cao Pi... Oh no, if I played as Cao Pi, I would have to actually play through the Guandu stuff again. I could do that off screen easily enough. Or I could even do it on screen and have it just be a quick video of that. But yeah, Cao Cao will not actually see the story of Wei all the way through to its conclusion, because the story of Wei kind of wraps up with the death of Cao Pi, in this game at least. So we'll see the very beginning of the next chapter, but I do have to think about whether I want to keep playing as Cao Cao until his story ends.
Forces of Cao Cao defeat the armies of Yuan Shao at Guandu. The Yuan family loses momentum and eventually is wiped out. Cao Cao is now the closest to gaining control of the entire land.
It was definitely the most powerful warlord in
Elsewhere,
China at this
Sun
point.
Quan has inherited control in Jingdong, following the death of his
Jingdong?
brother, Sun Ce.
I much prefer Jiangdong. This sounds more, I don't
His
know.
force, however, cannot compare to that of Cao Cao.
I wonder how it's actually pronounced. Liu Bei has yet to find someone to read this line of narration.
He's given Xinye to govern, but he has practically no force of arms.
Yeah, the
This
three
is
brothers are not
truly the
actually
age
literally
of
worth
Cao Cao.
1,000 troops each. Oh, so Cao Cao Mania's running wild.
Even though we've taken out Yuan Shao, there sure are a lot of enemies left out there.
Yes, we have Zhang Lu and Ma Teng to the west, and Liu Bei and Sun Quan to the south. Wei Keng is in charge of our defenses in the west, but he will be unable to hold out for long if Ma Teng makes his move.
He's Mate.
At present, Master Cao Ren is defending our southern border. I propose we turn our attention to the west.
I'll have a bunch of campaigns against the Mas
I
to deal
agree.
with.
Liu Bei doesn't stand much of a chance against Cao Ren. My lord, we should move against Ma Teng in the west.
I don't think we decided that
My lord!
we're going to do that, yeah. I think that comes after Chirby.
Cao Ren, we were just talking about you. What is the matter?
Why aren't you defending the south?
I'm sorry, but I have failed you. Liu Bei's army broke through.
Oh, I guess
the
we don't have to fight that
formation,
battle in this game.
and I was forced to withdraw to Wen Castle from Xinye.
Possibly if we were playing Cao Ren we would, but
Liu Bei was serving in Liu Bei's vanguard. But his tactics were unlike anything I've ever seen.
they were like aliens
Our
or
men are
something.
reforming the front lines, but we
They're
have to
using
have reinforcements.
guns. Crazy tactics I've never seen.
What? Liu Bei was able to overcome the 8 Gates formation?
But that's my favorite gate-based formation.
Master Cao Ren's 8 gates formation is not something that can easily be defeated by a simpleton such as Liu Bei. That
Liu
can only
Bei?
mean-
I like that name, actually. I'm Liu Bei.
My lord, we must assume that Liu Bei has gained the services of a rather capable strategist.
Perhaps me.
Given this new development, we should place our move west on hold for now.
Mm-hmm.
It seems
Good timing
Liu
with
Bei
your
has
arrival,
become
Cao
quite
Ren.
the thorn in my side.
Should kill him a
We
long
must
time
hurry
ago.
to Wen Castle and slay Liu Bei on the fields of Xinye.
Sure thing, buddy. We got it.
We've received reports that Liu Bei's army is taking up position from Fan Castle all the way to Jiangling. Additionally,
I get a lot
there
of clanging
doesn't appear
noises,
to
buddy.
be anybody who looks like a strategist among his ranks.
What does a strategist look like? You're racist.
Then maybe their strategist doesn't look like a strategist. He could be mixed in with the troops, like Master Shun Yo is.
He might not wear a traditional strategist
It's hard to
headband.
think someone would turn their back on Master Cao Cao to serve Liu Bei instead. He must be rather naive. Although, perhaps that naivete is the key to our success. If we can find out more about this strategist, we can use his weaknesses to our advantage.
Let's go, let's Google him.
Maybe so, but first,
See if
we
he's on
need to
Facebook,
repel
then we can
Liu
get all
Bei's
this data.
attack on Wen Castle. I'll take care of that.
Let's take care of the world.
Very well. However, there are likely to be others who have joined Liu Bei's cause, besides this strategist. Be sure to keep a wary eye on Guanyu and his other
So they don't really
officers.
explain in this particular story mode
Yes,
the
my
whole
lord.
brief Guan Yu works for you deal. They kind of don't get into it. But that's okay. Sima Yi.
Hunt down Liu Bei's army.
Or
I
Sima
want
Yi.
this
He may be known in this
strategist
game.
that is advising
And
him.
again, in this game, he might be known as Sima Yai. I don't
It
know.
seems they have prepared a strategy for dealing with us. It must be due to this
Sima
new
A.
strategist of his.
Yowie.
Approach with caution.
Handle me with care. I'm so tired of being lonely. Yeah, so there must be some dialogue with you. This should be your first appearance. And for anyone not previously familiar with the Dynasty Warriors RTK storyline, Sima Yi, kind of a big deal.
Well done.
What? That's not really what he said, but okay. Enemies likely to make its move soon. We should must ready our strategies to greet them. I shall go do something. Go with the information from our scouts once again. Alright. I squat in your presence, future ruler of the land. Sort of. Well, before we get out of here, let's throw down our last few upgrade points. I wonder if we will have maximum strength and attack by the end of all this. At any rate, that's going to do it for now. I don't know that I will wait for. I guess I could wait for people to reply in the comments. It seems to me like there's a couple of potential logical choices. What the hell, I'm calling it a session as far as this game goes, so I might as well let this one run a little long just to quickly go through our options. So to continue the story, we've been playing as Cao Cao all this time. It might make sense to keep playing as Cao Cao. But I anticipate that, because like off-screen, I switched over to Zhen Ji and used her to basically play through to the end of the Wei story. Because a new generation is kind of where you start seeing a bunch of Jin characters become available. Because, spoiler alert, Wei kind of goes into decline from internal decay. Wu does much the same, and you see there's like really no Wu characters introduced late in the story. Jin kind of consumes Wei from within, and eventually the final battles of the narrative are going to be Jin defeating Shu to wrap up the Three Kingdoms era. Because the very last chapter of the novel Three Kingdoms is Jin attacking and subsuming Wu. But, you know, it's only one chapter because Wu basically just roll over and die because they've decayed so much by the time Jin has conquered Shu. So Wei's story is basically going to kind of wrap up around the time that Cao Pi passes away. So amongst the characters that we could use to bring this thing to the end, I'm not going to go back and play all the way through the whole beginning of the game with the Ji Haos, most likely, or Jian Wei's chapter would end early in chapter 4 anyway, we know that. But there's these guys that are kind of important in the early part that we could be using, all these strategists that pop up. Zhang Liao would be an interesting one, but he doesn't really start to do anything until... I guess I'd be curious how his story begins, actually. Because he pops up during the chapters. He is not... There is no other storyline where you play as Zhang Liao working for Liu Bei, so his story really starts here. But anybody from chapter 4 or 5, I kind of could pick up and start playing as. Jia Zhu is likely to make it through the very end of the Wei story. I don't remember when Zhu Huang dies or whether he'd make it all the way through, but Zhang Liao will make it most of the way through, probably, but not all the way. The story basically ends with the death of Cao Pi, so I could play as Cao Pi off-screen, just do the very end of chapter 4, and play him through to the end, and that would wrap up the Wei story. But Zhen Ji would do the same thing. She's Cao Pi's wife. She doesn't have a lot of dialogue of import, but the big important plot scenes with Cao Pi will probably continue to play out. And then, of course, there's Zhang He. Zhang He is another guy. He should make it all the way through to the end. I don't think he would go any farther. He was kind of fighting against... He's not really... You wouldn't call him a Jin officer, but he's defeated by Zhu Geiliang and ultimately dies right around the same time that the Wei story ends anyway. So in theory, I could keep playing as Cao Cao. Cao Cao is probably going to end... His storyline should end... Ooh, actually... He'd probably come all the way to the end with like one chapter left to go where you probably can't play as Cao Cao. So we could just keep playing as Cao Cao and then just switch at the last minute to Zhen Ji. That would allow us to cover the whole thing without me replaying a bunch of stuff. Or we could switch over to Cao Pi and kind of watch the transition of power from Cao Cao to Cao Pi from Cao Pi's perspective. Again, these are our options. Wang Yi and Pang De are both kind of fun characters, but they're going to pop up so much later. I don't know that I'm likely to play as them very much. We'll see. Anyway, calling it a video. When we come back, folks, it really comes down to whether I end up deciding I need to record ahead or if I can actually wait for people to comment and see what people think about who they'd like to see carry us through to the end of the Wei story. But if I end up playing on my own without waiting for comments, next time we'll be playing probably at Cao Cao, but possibly Shanghai or Zhen Ji. I guess we will see, folks. I don't think it makes a huge difference, to tell you the truth. I think the main story essential items you will see either way. There may be little bits of like background color that only play out if you have specific characters. But Cao Cao did not appear at all in that cinematic that we just saw with Guo Jia talking to... Oh, battery level low. We saw that couple of, like, Jia Shua and Guo Jia and one of the Junyos all chatting after the victory at Guandu. Cao Cao doesn't appear in that, but we still got it. So I think the major story stuff happens either way. Which means that most of this is me flapping my gums about something that doesn't really matter that much. I'm the Mysterious JG. Thank you guys very much for watching, and hope you'll join me next time for more of Dynasty Warriors 9. Because we're about... At this point, we're like... Jeez, we're still not quite halfway through the Wei story. Oh well. See you next time.